This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Welcome to The Wire Technology Edition, the week in real estate presented in digestible bites. Hold on while our AI hosts take us on another ride through this week's top real estate headlines.
Welcome back to The Wire, everybody. You know we love to geek out on real estate tech here, and this week is no exception. We've got a whole stack of articles, some big announcements, and it all seems to be pointing to the same question. Is AI about to completely revolutionize real estate?
Yeah.
Or is this just a bunch of hype?
Well, you can't talk about AI in real estate right now without mentioning Matterport, right?
Right. Their new marketing cloud platform launched the same week they got acquired by CoStar. That's a pretty big deal.
It is, and they're really pushing the envelope with some of these AI-powered tools.
Yeah, digital twins, virtual tours, even that defurnishing feature you can just strip a room bare in the photos. What do you think about CoStar scooping them up in the same week, though?
It's interesting, isn't it? CoStar, king of the data, and Matterport with all this amazing visual tech. They're definitely trying to make a splash.
I mean, it could really accelerate how fast these tools get adopted, right?
Yeah.
Imagine every listing having a super realistic digital twin powered by CoStar's data. That's wild.
It's going to change how buyers experience properties for sure. But it's not all about the fancy visuals, is it?
Not at all. We also saw that Century 21 Turner Brokers teamed up with Reliance Network to revamp their website with all kinds of AI-powered features.
I think that's a really smart move. They're focusing on hyper-local search and using AI to boost their SEO, which, at the end of the day is how you get those clients to find you.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about having a flashy website. You have to be found. An article we read in Housing Wire this week really dug into how AI is changing content strategy. They're saying that real estate professionals have to start thinking beyond just keywords and start understanding user intent,
Yeah, it's like you have to become a mind reader. What's the motivation behind the search?
Exactly. They gave this great example. Somebody searches for benefits of owning an iClear home. Sounds straightforward enough, but they're arguing you have to go deeper with AI. What's the real need there?
Are they empty nesters looking for a single-story layout? Are they drawn to mid-century modern architecture because they think it's cool, or are they thinking about the energy efficiency?
Right. Your content has to speak to those deeper needs. It makes it so much more complex, but also way more targeted.
And speaking of targeting, that same article also talked about how AI is even impacting search itself. Apparently, Google is using AI to try to bridge that gap between what people are searching for and what's actually available in, the traditional MLS data.
Yeah, IntelliSearch, they're calling it. It's pretty wild. Like someone searches for multi-generational living homes, which isn't a typical MLS category, right?
Yeah.
But Google's AI can see that gap and kind of creates a specific overview based on its broader understanding of everything on the web. They're like anticipating needs before the industry is even ready.
That's pretty amazing. It's almost like Google's AI is evolving faster than real estate.
It makes you wonder, if real estate professionals could figure out how this works, could they get ahead of the game?
They could, absolutely. If you're creating content that anticipates those emerging needs, that's a huge advantage. But, it's not all sunshine and roses with AI, right?
There are some potential pitfalls here, too. Another article we read, this one from Rise Media, really hammered home the need for safe and responsible use of AI.
Right. And they use this phrase, gates and guardrails. I thought that was really clever. What did they mean by that?
Well, we're putting some really powerful tools in the hands of agents, and brokerages need to make sure they're protected, right? Data breaches, compliance issues, even the possibility of accidentally misrepresenting a property through AI-generated content. It's a lot to think about.
So it's not as simple as, hey, there's a cool new AI feature, let's use it.
Not at all. Brokerages need to vet these AI providers really carefully. Do they have robust security? Do they have clear ethical guidelines? And then how about building in some checks and balances within the platforms themselves?
You're right. You don't want agents accidentally sharing sensitive data or creating marketing materials that could end up misleading buyers. Exactly. It's all about finding that balance, harnessing the power of AI while being responsible.
It all goes back to that defurnishing feature we talked about earlier. I could see that being useful for buyers trying to imagine their own stuff in a space. But you can also easily misrepresent a property if you're not careful.
Exactly. Defurnishing might make a place look bigger or more appealing than it is in real life. It's a tough one. We want to use these tools to enhance the experience, but we can't compromise on trust and accuracy.
No, absolutely not. Okay, so we've talked a lot about AI's impact on marketing and search, but it's not just stopping there, is it?
Mm.
We also saw that Xactus and FICO teamed up to launch something called the Score Mortgage Simulator. What's that all about?
That one's really interesting. Basically, it lets lenders and borrowers play around with different financial scenarios and see how it impacts their FICO score.
So like, what if I pay down this credit card? What if I increase my credit limit? It'll show you how those decisions could affect your loan eligibility and interest rates.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about giving both sides more transparency and control. It's not just about finding the right house anymore. It's about understanding your financial options and making smart decisions throughout the entire home buying process.
It's pretty cool when you think about it. And it actually ties back to that Housing Wire article we talked about earlier. They were saying that AI is breaking us free from those traditional MLS constraints. Combine that with tools like this Score Mortgage Simulator, and you're talking about a whole new level of personalized and nuanced search experience.
It is a whole new level, for sure. It's like we're moving towards this future where AI is sort of the invisible hand guiding the whole real estate ecosystem. It's mind-blowing.
It is, and it definitely makes you wonder, is this a real AI revolution in real estate, or is it just a lot of hype? We'll have to keep digging into that.
It's a question worth exploring.
It is. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more on AI in real estate.
I think it's a really good question, and honestly, I think a little healthy skepticism is a good thing.
So how do our listeners, the folks who are out there on the front lines, how do they cut through all the hype and figure out which AI tools are worth their time and money?
That's the million-dollar question. I always tell people, start with your needs. What are you struggling with? What are your clients complaining about? Look for tools that actually solve those problems, not just something with a bunch of bells and whistles.
So practical over flashy.
Exactly. And do your homework. Look for providers who are transparent about how their AI works. Can you understand the logic? You don't want to be in the dark, especially when you're dealing with people's data.
No, that makes sense. You have to trust the tech you're using.
And don't forget about the ethical side of things either. Does this tool align with your values? Does it promote fairness, transparency, responsible data use? Remember all that talk about gates and guardrails?
It all goes back to using AI responsibly, right? It's not just about making a quick buck.
Couldn't have said it better myself. AI is a powerful tool, but it's up to us humans to guide it in the right direction.
This reminds me of something from that Housing Wire article. They said, the future of real estate search isn't just about being found. It's about being relevant, comprehensive, and connected in ways that both AI systems and human users value.
Oh, that's good. That really gets to the heart of it.
It does. So what does all this mean for the real estate pros out there in the trenches? If they had to walk away with one big takeaway from all this, what would it be?
Don't be afraid of AI. Look, it's not here to replace you. It's a tool to help you be better at what you do.
It's like having a really smart assistant,
Yeah.
right? It can crunch all that data, find those hidden trends, and free you up to focus on the things that require, a human touch.
Exactly. Building relationships, understanding your clients, giving good advice, negotiating deals, all that stuff. That's never going away. In fact, those skills might become even more valuable in an AI-driven world.
I like that. So it's not about humans versus machines. It's about finding the right balance, using the best of both worlds.
And let's be honest, it's kind of exciting. Think about the possibilities. Streamlining all those processes, getting deeper insights, making the whole real estate experience smoother and more efficient for everyone involved.
It really does make you think. But we can't forget, AI has its limitations too, right?
Of course, of course. There are certain things algorithms just can't replicate. Intuition, creativity, empathy, the ability to build trust.
The things that make us human. It seems like those are the qualities that'll become even more valuable.
Absolutely. It's not about humans versus machines, It's about finding that sweet spot, using the strengths of both to create a real estate experience that's still centered around people.
I love that. It's a partnership, a collaboration. Who knows what we'll be able to do together. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about all these new AI tools, the importance of being ethical, how this tech is changing everything from finding a house to getting a mortgage. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you said earlier about, cutting through the noise.
Yeah. It's so easy to get swept up in the latest and greatest, but sometimes you just have to step back and focus on what's important.
Right. So for our listeners who are maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by all this AI talk, what's one piece of practical advice you'd give them?
Don't try to do everything at once. Start with what you need. What are your pain points? What are your clients' pain points? Then go find the AI solutions that actually address those specific issues.
Be strategic, be intentional.
Exactly. And remember, this stuff is still evolving. There are going to be bumps in the road. Not every AI tool is going to be a winner.
So be a little skeptical.
Be a healthy skeptic. Stay informed. Ask questions. And don't be afraid to experiment, but never forget the human side of things.
That's a great point. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay human.
And hey, have fun with it. The stuff is cool. It's a new frontier. Enjoy the ride.
That's such a great reminder. It's easy to get bogged down in all the details.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, AI can be a really powerful force for good, and we get to shape how it's used in real estate.
We do. It's an incredible opportunity.
It is. And that's it for this week's deep dive into AI and real estate. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope it got you thinking.
It was a pleasure being here. Always a good time.
And to all our listeners out there, keep pushing the boundaries, keep innovating, keep learning. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into the world of real estate tech.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in the doom and gloom, but I think there's a lot to be excited about here, too.
Absolutely. I mean, just think about the potential for AI to help us solve some of the really big challenges in real estate.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, affordability is a huge issue, right? AI could help us identify new housing solutions, optimize development projects, and even personalize financing options to make home ownership more accessible for people.
That would be amazing. It could really level the playing field for a lot of folks.
And think about sustainability. AI can help us design more energy-efficient buildings, manage resources more effectively, and create smarter cities that are better for the environment. It feels like the possibilities are endless. It's almost like AI is giving us a chance to rethink the way we do real estate from the ground up.
Yeah, it's a chance to be more innovative, more efficient, and more inclusive.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI, what's the one thing you hope our listeners will take away from this conversation?
I hope they'll embrace the change and see AI as an opportunity, not a threat. It's a tool that can empower us to do what we do even better.
To be more creative, more strategic, and more connected to our clients.
Exactly. AI is not going to replace human expertise, but it's going to change the game. And the real estate professionals who are ready to adapt and evolve are the ones who are going to thrive.
So true. And on that note, that's it for this week's episode of The Wire. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI and real estate.
It was my pleasure. Always a great conversation.
And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We'll see you next time for another exciting deep dive into the world of real estate tech.
If you're interested in your own personalized edition of The Wire, please visit us at thewire.fm/custom. We offer market-specific podcasts with all the latest real estate news and market analysis delivered to you weekly or monthly. Own your market with a personalized edition of The Wire, the week in real estate. Thank you for listening.